That's Nick.
And that's Joseph, and today we're here to talk about You Should Have Left, the Melania Trump story. I'm just kidding.
This is now going to be flagged as like, we're very nasty people.
Oh, that's okay.
And the FBI is going to...
I already know I'm nasty. It's the 7th feature directed by David Koepp, who's better known as a writer of quite a few notable Steven Spielberg films, such as Jurassic Park, the last Indiana Jones film, The Lost World. Brian De Palma has used him several times. He's written quite a few notable films since the 1980s, but this is his 7th film as director. It stars Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried, and is being released on digital and demand June 18th, 2020, courtesy of Universal.
This film is based on a book
by Daniel Kehlmann, a German author, who a previous novel of his, Me and Kaminski, was adapted into film in 2015, which I only was on my radar because Geraldine Chaplin's in it.
Great. This movie is about a wealthy banker named Theo, played by Kevin Bacon, and his wife, Susanna, played by Amanda Seyfried.
Much younger wife.
Much younger. She's an actress, and she's scheduled to shoot a film in the UK. So they move there temporarily to prepare for her being gone for shooting.
They take a vacation to Wales prior to her upcoming stint in London.
Correct. So they find this house on like an Airbnb site. It's a beautiful, big, modern house. Right away, we get the sense there's something wrong with the house because Theo goes to the local general store and the shop owner tells him like weird things about the house. A woman standing outside the store sees him, gives him an ominous message. They kind of just float about for a minute until...
And he's also having nightmares.
He's having nightmares.
That might be related to his mysterious past.
His mysterious past, but it's pretty stark.
Yeah.
Up until things come to a head when Theo realizes Susanna's cheating on him. So he makes a peculiar request for her to leave the house for one night so she can think about what she did. I don't know. But during that one night where it's just him and his daughter, Ella, who's played by...
Avery Essex.
They end up basically being in like an MC Escher portrait. Like the house seems endless. They're going into rooms that never end. There is a man who, part of Kevin Bacon or Theo's nightmares, he sees this like sort of creepy man who reminds me of, what is Sling Blade?
Billy Bob Thornton?
Kind of.
French fries.
He just seems like a simple man. But
what did you kill Jesse for?
He sees him. So the main point of the plot is that Theo, the reason he's infamous is because prior to marrying Susanna, his wife died mysteriously, like in a bathtub. The court case became very popular, a la O.J. Simpson. The courts found him innocent, but public opinion was that he was guilty. So he's had this cloud hanging over him ever since. But the house he's in kind of represents like hell, because it's explained to us that the land this house is built on used to be like a tower that the devil built and God tore down. So it's like the devil's house now.
It's Hotel California, yeah.
So Theo sort of admits that he did let his wife die. And because he never paid for his sin, I guess now he's relegated to hell. So the film ends with him deciding that he is going to stay in this house forever and let his daughter and wife go on about their lives. The end. What do we like about this movie? Kevin Bacon, who I already like, I think he still got it. He looks great. He would have been like 60 when he filmed this.
I mean, it's like as an older white man, like, he looks really good.
Yeah, he's very compelling on screen. I would almost say he's kind of magnetic. Yeah, so I mean, that's worth a watch. The film looks good.
Yeah, it was shot by Angus Hudson, who in the earlier 2000s had some... he did some great work on Sean Ellis's first 2 features, Cashback and The Broken.
That's about it for me. What did you like about it?
I like Kevin Bacon. I realize that he hasn't been in a theatrical release since Peter Berg's Patriots Day, so it's nice to see him on screen. I was excited for this film because David Koepp, I liked his early directorial efforts, like The Trigger Effect in '96 with Elizabeth Shue. That's got a good role for Richard T. Jones, who you know from Why Did I Get Married? But especially for Stir of Echoes, the 1999 film with Kevin Bacon and Ileana Douglas, which I believe spawned a sequel that neither were involved with. Since then, his last movie was Mortdecai. Do you remember those terrible twee posters all over LA of Johnny Depp and Gwyneth Paltrow and mustaches?
Yes.
Like 5 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
That was David Koepp's last directorial effort. And then before that was Premium Rush, a kind of so-so film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a biker delivery boy being chased by Michael Shannon. So I was very curious to see this. It's a Universal Blumhouse production. But it's very, I think you put it best when we were watching it, you'll be reminded of The Shining, but this is like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of The Shining. But even the dynamic of this troubled husband and wife who are also manipulative and abusive. Amanda Seyfried's not as simple as Shelley Duvall, he's not as abusive as Jack Nicholson, but they still have a similar dynamic. I think you could make an argument about some subtext about how just as there's something off about the house, there's something off about the relationship, which devolves into him discovering she has a second secret phone for her lover. But because the early scenes are set in LA and he goes to set to visit her while she's filming a sex scene and we can hear her orgasmic cries, and there's all this to do about how she has to fake it, and with him it feels so good. And there's something that feels so incredibly insincere about their dialogue that I guess is on purpose, but
yeah, I thought the story was cock-a-doo-doo.
it is cock-a-doo. When the grocer hands him whatchamacallit.
He hands him a protractor.
Yes,
and tells him check the right angle.
Try the right angles.
And
God.
the idea behind that is when probably the only scene in the film that I thought was interesting was when he does use the protractor in the house and realizes that the walls are not at a right angle, even though they appear to be. Mm-hmm. And then he measures the interior versus the exterior and sees that the interior is much bigger than the exterior. But at that point, the film is like already more than an hour.
Yeah, and it's a 90-minute film.
So there was no hope. I mean, once we passed the 45-minute mark and nothing had really happened, that's when I lost hope. And then once there is sort of an interesting thing, it's so late in the film that I didn't care anymore. Everything is so watered down. And
it's just very predictable at the point where he has this nightmare and he sees this Polaroid, and later he sees the Polaroid, or we see how the origin of that Polaroid.
Well, because then it's playing issues, movies that have storylines involving like time and space, it can become convoluted very quickly. And this one, it deals with it for like a 10-minute period, and I was just confused. Like, I'm bored for an hour or so, and then there's like a 10-minute period after I've been bored for an hour where I'm kind of confused. And then it's like, oh, he's in hell, he's going to stay there.
And also, I don't believe in the devil building houses to capture souls. And if that were the case, there'd be a lot more other people getting sucked up in this Welsh home.
I'm also confused, like, if this is something that, because the townspeople seem to know about this house. And they know that, they keep saying that the
Stettler, I think.
Stettler, who is like the devil or this person who runs this house, these townspeople seem to know about him. Mm-hmm. So, it's just confusing to me, what the focus is. Like, is this a house the devil built that is attracting people? Why do other people know about it? Why did he... Yeah. I wasn't super impressed.
Would you want to live in a town where you believe that devil built a house?
Right.
Property value's going down.
What would you give this film?
I think 1.5 is fair. I like Kevin Bacon, even Amanda Seyfried, who's... she's been in some turkeys, but she's always good at selling things the right way, even when the dialogue is trite or crap. So kudos to that. But
well, I would also give it 1.5 out of 5. I wouldn't recommend this, especially if you thought you were going to see something bone-chilling, or it doesn't even have basic jump scares.
Right. Blumhouse is... runs the course of quality and taste levels, and you can get something like Get Out, or you can get something like Fantasy Island. This isn't as bad as Fantasy Island in my mind, but
no, it's just dry.
Yeah, it's just dry.
Anything else?
No.
All right, bye.
Bye.